everybody, welcome back to some more of the Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke. It's been 2 days. I don't have a whole lot of time today because it's WrestleMania today. But if you missed the last episode, which I know some of you did, oh wow, okay. We had a few Pokemon faint. A few Pokemon did indeed faint. We had 3 Pokemon faint, so we've doubled our death count. We lost our Poliwhirl, which, well, it's a Poliwrath for the fight that it fainted in. We lost our Poliwrath. We lost Pidgeotto, which was Big Man Kev. Who was the other one that we lost? Poco Loco, the Graveler. Man, punish naughty Mankey. That reminds me of Pokemon Blue Rescue Team on this very YouTube channel. That was a really fun one. It's my annual tax return that I spent it on, so it's not money I was expecting for anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta pay tax by the end of the month. I was just informed today by my accountants how much I owe, and I also just paid my invoice of my accountants earlier today. I'm gonna have to pay my taxes later in the month, though. I have not been paid yet, and money's not great. So I know I'll have enough after I get paid, but that money has not arrived yet. So I gotta wait. And then there's rent. Ugh, Jesus. Canada's expensive, okay? Canada is really prohibitively expensive. People always ask me, like, hey, should I move to Canada? It seems like a nice place. Okay, 1, visit first. 2, look up the real estate first on where you would want to live. 3, look up the taxes. 4, look up the job market. You gotta do your responsible adult things before you go asking, like, hey, it looks nice. Hey, YouTuber, should I move to Canada? Man, maybe you want to do, like, the bare minimum of research on that. Just go on, like, Zwello, or... Is Zwello what it's called? Zello? I think it's Zello. Just fucking pop open Zello and look at real estate prices in the province you want to move to. And if you don't even know what province you want to move to yet because you don't know the taxes on any of them, then you are so early in this process. You are so early in the process, you probably shouldn't ask the random Pokemon YouTuber you're watching. Zillo is probably Zillo. Zwello sounds more like a Pokemon. I don't think it is a Pokemon, but... Canada looks nice until winter hits. That's not true. That's not true at all. Where I live, the heat waves are fucking gnarly. The summers are awful, and the winters are awful. Okay, so there's a statistic about Canada that's fun to remember. I believe it's something like 80% of Canadians live within an hour of the southern United States border. And of that 70 or 80%, 80% of them live within the Golden Horseshoe, which is on the east side. If you look at a world map, you see how, like, in the east, the Canadian border dips down into the Great Lakes? That's the Golden Horseshoe. That's where most Canadians live. And it is both very fucking hot and very fucking cold every single year. The dynamic range of temperatures we get here is miserable. And it's 100% humidity a lot of the time because we're between 3 of the Great Lakes. So it gets hot like the American South, it gets cold like the North, and most of the time it's uncomfortably humid. It's the worst of both worlds. If you've ever been to upstate New York or, like, Michigan, think that, but a little worse. Whew. He was from Hamilton, Ontario. I lived in Hamilton for a little while. One of my friends works for the government. His wife has a great job too. They moved to Newfoundland for a house because everything was way too expensive. Even Newfoundland is not super cheap now. But yeah, Newfoundland is definitely cheaper than living in Ontario. But that's the thing, is if you're gonna move, just move out of the country. That's what most people are doing. We've been breaking records year after year for people leaving Canada to move to the United States. These are records we haven't broken since the 60s or the 70s. That's how bad it's gotten. Canada is the reverse Hannah Montana. It's the worst of both worlds. That's a crazy way to put that. Guys, I think we're going to be grinding a lot this stream. What's the level of our Rivals Ace again? I want to say it's 43. I think we were over this a couple days ago. My brother wants to do the opposite of what you said. What's the opposite of what I said? I'm not sure what that was in reply to. Is the on-screen fund counter broken? It's not broken, but it doesn't auto-update for super chats. It only auto-updates if you send a direct tip through the tip jar in the description. I have to... You know what? We're going to do it right now. Because I meant to do this between streams. We are going to now take a 5-minute break from actually playing the game. I'm going to tally the money right now on screen so that you know what the actual number is, because I'm sick of neither of us knowing the answer. Okay, so I need CAD to USD because it's gonna tell me, so on YouTube, it's gonna tell me the super chat numbers on the back end in Canadian. I've got to convert that to American, because the number you're looking at on screen is American. Okay, so I need to go to all widgets, tip goal. Okay, let me pop up in the chat and put on the other menu so I can still see you guys while I do this. All right. My brother wants to leave USA to another place. I mean, yeah, it's his right if he wants to. I mean, I say it's his right. It's his right to leave. It's not his right necessarily to be in another place. That depends on the country. You know how it is. He can do what he wants. Just make sure he researches what the fuck he's doing before he does it. Because you don't want to knee-jerk leave a country for another country. That's a great way to get stranded. It's a bad idea. Just make sure he knows what he's doing before he does it. Okay. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to my live thing here. Nuzlocke. I'm on my live tab, and I have open here every Nuzlocke episode that I have done. I'm going to open the analytics for all of them. And I have to go to revenue and go to super chats. Okay, the first one... is it? Hold on, is this actually the first one? I gotta double check that. Yes, this is the first one. Yes. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. The first one, no super chats. Oh, wait, hold on. No, it may have got... Is it over a month old? I didn't realize it was defaulting to last 28 days. Lifetime. Okay, no, it did get super chats, that one. Okay, let me open my calculator app. Calc. 5163. Okay, that's 5163 plus 1435 plus... Sorry, this is going to take a second. Plus 3696 plus, I will check that in one moment. Thank you to whoever did that. I can't tally the ones you're doing live because I have to check the version that goes up a couple days later, plus 5324. I have to check the one that goes up a few days later because that way it's after YouTube has already taken their cut. So I'll know the actual number. Okay, revenue. So this is plus... This one also has money in memberships, but I guess that's unrelated. 3451. Wait, oh no, 51. This one is... Oh, Jesus, 93,
Bet I can smash
69. Bet I could smash that. This one, 3308. God damn, this is more than I thought. Next one is 1162. And the last one is plus 5087. Wait, what the hell? Oh, no, I forgot to hit plus on that one. Plus 5087. So it's 300 and... Oh, the music stopped. Let me fix that. Okay. So Canadian... It is $379.95. Now, I won't get all of that. That is after YouTube took their 30%, and it's before my network took their 5%. So I'm not literally getting all of that. Now, if I convert it to American, that is $275.76. So now if I go to my tip goal... Okay, so it is $275.76 plus the current, which is $2,089.88. So the actual current number, I can actually fix it on screen now. The actual current number, when converted to American, is technically slightly less than this because let me fix it right now. It's technically slightly less than this. Fixed computer and vet bills. Save. Okay, that should show up on screen any second now. Okay, that's the correct number. It's technically slightly lower than that number because it's not counting that my network is going to take 5% of some of these super chats. And a lot of this money's not in my account yet. It won't be in my account until the end of next month. Direct donations show up in like a couple days if you do through the tip jar in the description. If you do through super chats, it's rolled into the next YouTube paycheck, which is you're always getting paid at the end of the month for the previous month, not the one that just happened, the one that happened before that. Yes, this was MDB math. MathDB. Mah-Dry-Bread. Okay, so, sorry, I gotta like reopen all my shit now. I can close that. So don't let anyone ever tell you I'm not transparent. There you go. There we go. You know what, that didn't even take that long. That took like 5 or 6 minutes. The annoying thing though is when you do a stream on YouTube, it tells you right after, like, you made this much money from super chats and whatever. That number is a lie. That number is lying to you. You have to wait until after a couple days has passed and then recheck the analytics on that stream recording, like in your live tab, and you'll notice the number is lower. Oh yeah, sorry, I'll read that in a second. Yeah, the number is lower because they're not counting, because what the live number they give you, right when you finish the stream, is not counting that they take 30% of that. So you gotta wait a few days before they actually tell you, like, what your actual number is. It's bullshit. Thank you, Dolphy, for the $2. I love cold. Is housing in the Yukon affordable? I don't know. I haven't looked into moving to the fucking Yukon. Nobody looks at how to live, at living in the Yukon. I know that housing might be affordable. Groceries aren't. If you're in the Northwest Territories or, like, the Yukon or anywhere up there, if you're in Nunavut, then, like, a chocolate bar that would be $3 out here is $10 plus over there. Everything, grocery-wise, is incredibly expensive in the far north. What's up, Army Nation? Oh, God. It's your boy, Super Pig Fucker 64. Guys, how many of you know my Army Nation joke? The worst kind, I promise you out there, somewhere in the depths of YouTube, the worst YouTuber you know, the most generic, devoid of personality, devoid of creativity YouTuber you know, is out there trying to get his fan base to call themselves the Something Army or the Something Nation. It's always the fucking Something Army or the Something Nation. Because they heard somewhere... They heard from some fucking YouTube video on how to get famous on YouTube that you absolutely have to have a name for your community so that they have a sense of community. And so they decide to call them the Channel Name Army or the Channel Name Nation. So whenever I'm doing my imitation of the worst YouTuber you've ever seen, it's always, hey guys, what's poppin'? It's your boy, MDB. What's up, Army Nation? Don't forget to fist bump that like button, pound the fucking hype button, send me your wallets, don't forget to subscribe, and ring the bell. This week on This Week's Nuzlocke. Except for I gotta sound like I'm from the Midwest. The worst YouTuber you know, I promise, is from the Midwest of the United States of America. Time to call my viewers the Channel Army Nation Coalition faction. You sound like a 2010s Disney ad? Man, I'm happy I didn't watch 2010 Disney. What's up, Generic Nation? Today's sponsor code. What's poppin'? It's your boy. I hate. Here to give you another unboxing at 3 a.m. Tonight, I'm unboxing this haunted doll at 3 a.m. Be the Bread Army. You guys already have a name. I just don't fucking push it down your throats constantly. Can we be called the Hedgehogs Underground? Should be. Okay, too much, fair. It gets really annoying, doesn't it? Love your videos, been here since Stadium, that's awesome. Tonight we're calling Evil Joe Biden at 3 a.m. Are those the worst videos on YouTube? Is the fucking 3 a.m. slop that they put out for, like, little kids? If you want to know, like, what's the worst video on YouTube, just look up, like, anything that J-Station ever uploaded. Playing a Nuzlocke at 3 a.m. If you like this kind of content, then if I get to 1 million likes, I'll upload the next video at 3 a.m. Why is it always fucking 3 a.m.? There's gotta be like an algorithmic reason why they do that, because it's always very specifically 3 a.m. You know J-Station's back, by the way? He's ban evading. He has a new account, and he still uploads fucking 3 a.m. videos.
Bet I can smash that.
You know, whenever people say like, oh my god, Canadians are so nice, Canadians are so kind, I want to remind you that J-Station is Canadian, and he's probably the worst guy to ever live. How? I don't know. He's blatantly ban evading. Everybody knows it's him. He just grew a goatee. Chase Station's back. He just has a goatee and a new account. But everybody knows it's him. It's like linked on his Wikitubia. He still fucking calls himself J Station. Can't I cross into Alaska for groceries? I mean, I don't know how convenient that is. I guess it depends on how close you live to the border. Wait, so it's evil J Station? Well, he has a goatee, yeah, but like, okay, J Station already is evil J Station. It's like Teddy Hart. We've never seen a good one. No, J Station, like, the new meta is ban evading by growing a goatee. That's hilarious. Yeah, for real. He just grew a long goatee, that's it. And he's fucking back. I think he got banned after he pretended his girlfriend was dead to get people to watch his videos. And then he started doing 3 a.m. seance videos of his dead girlfriend. Oh my god. He's like the most comedically worst person ever. No, that's DJ Station. Completely different person. Ah, I was fooled. Oh yeah, he did that. Yeah, it's that guy. That's J Station. He first blew up by literally trespassing in a mall in the middle of the night. Yeah, he literally just follows whatever is like really trendy with kids. There are people who worked for him making his sketches. He used to do sketches when they were popular, and he would just hire local actors for them, and literally what they said working with him was like is they would go over to his house. He'd have on the TV a big YouTube channel with a really big video. Videos blown up with kids. And he'd literally just say, okay, we're doing that today. And he would shot for shot rip off the whole thing and then just upload it to his account. Like, even with the actors coming in, he didn't pretend like he wrote it. He would just put the video on screen on the TV and say, okay, we're doing that today. Like, it's so blatant. I can't believe he got away with that for so long. He's the same guy where every one of his exes, they come out and say like, oh, by the way, he literally prays to the devil. Like, they've seen him get down on his knees in front of a fire and just start speaking in tongues. And he did a video once where he explained, he's like, I feel like the devil's the good one because he's the one who gives you everything that you want. And so, like, I asked to be famous no matter what it took. And he's just, like, really open about that. And, like, look, I don't think that Satan is giving J-Station superpowers. I'm not a religious man. I don't take these things literally. But he does take it literally. He does genuinely believe that Satan is the good one because he gives you what you want, and he genuinely, and this is something he has said behind the scenes to many, many people, and he has also said on screen, he genuinely wrote up a contract for his soul and asked to be famous. And he believes that he was granted his wish because the J-Station channel was big. Does he still believe that today? I don't know, but he sure as fuck believed that back then. Like, he's a man who literally has no morals, and he's just okay with that. It's so crazy. Satan's the good one because he gives you what you want. Is a nuts take. Yeah, it's J-Station. I have long since said there should be a wrestling bad guy out there who just watches a bunch of J-Station stuff and tries to pick up his mannerisms. You would be the most hated bad guy in all of wrestling if you just pick up the mannerisms of J-Station. He is so genuinely unlikable, it's unbelievable. J-Station is genuinely insane. YouTube makes some of the dumbest people famous. Yes. Yes. It's just so fucking crazy. J-Station. I don't like shitting on other YouTubers on air a whole lot, because, like, what's the point? I don't really shit on other YouTubers in general, either on a DSP. Because we're in the same field. I feel like I can critique DSP. And I'm never gonna shame someone for watching what you want to watch, you know? I will say that J-Station is probably the worst YouTuber I've ever seen. Yeah, it's not just that he has no morals, it's that, like, is like, he doesn't even, like, understand the concept of them. And so he's just like, I don't get it. It's just good. This is the good one. It's so crazy. When does Shadow become Gengar? I think like 36 or something, 32? Did you hear about Johnny Somali getting arrested and is going to Korean labor prison? Yeah. I mean, he fucking earned that one. He did not learn his lesson anywhere along the process. MDB, you know what you have to do to pay your taxes? Become MBD. Oh no, is MBD just like me if I were J-Station? Is that my evil twin? Is there a mirror universe in which just the most unlikable fucker you've ever seen is me with a goatee? Unfortunately, he only got 6 months though, right? I don't know, I didn't hear how long. It's also always morally correct to laugh at DSP. Yeah, because, like, DSP, again, it's one of those ones where it's like, look, I don't generally like laughing at someone who is clearly very autistic. I have autism. I've definitely had my embarrassing moments before, but I'm also fairly well adjusted. I do think it's fair game to make fun of them if they're also a really terrible person. Like, people sometimes they look at Chris Chan and they're like, how could you make fun of Chris Chan? This is clearly a very autistic person who had a very rough upbringing with very elderly parents. You know, clearly this person did not have a good start in life. I agree. However, if you followed the lore of Chris Chan, you know Chris Chan is a terrible person. Like, Chris Chan thinks really awful things about very large groups of people. Like, I know that they say that they're trans now. I don't really know if they are or not. I have no idea, because Chris Chan's also on record saying that they want to be a lesbian so that they can get a girlfriend. Which doesn't sound like gender dysphoria to me, but that could have just been an offhand comment. I don't know. But no, you gotta remember, Chris Chan also had like 15-year stretch of time of like openly hating gay people. Like fully hating gay people. Really, really vocal about it. God damn it. See, same thing with DSP. If DSP was just this really socially awkward old school Let's Player, fine, watch him if you like him. My issue with DSP is he is genuinely a greedy, selfish asshole. Oh my god, I promise you, any given day, you could tune into his stream right now. He's probably live right now. Don't you say a word to him. I'm not sending you guys over to bug this guy. Don't bug this guy. Just tune in for more than 2 hours, and I promise he will be bitching that people aren't donating enough. And I mean that. I'm not using weasel words here and saying that when in reality he's like, hey, we have a donation goal for today. No. I mean, he's trying to say to you, hey guys, I've donated for 2 hours and I haven't even gotten this much money yet. I guess you guys just don't want like watching me play this. I don't know if I should just play something else or if I'm just not gonna play anything. I can't even snort like he can. I can't even do the imitation. I can't do it. I can't be as gross as DSP. And we never really talk shit, never really shit talks people, so this means a lot. Yeah, I don't really. There's very few people on YouTube that really irk me that much. Everything you've ever heard about DSP is overwhelmingly negative. Yeah, he earned that. He earned that. And he continues to earn that year by year. New things happen constantly for, I guess it must be like 17 or 18 years now. He's like the only old school Let's Player that predates me who's still around. It's like him and Proton John. Is Deceased Crab still doing stuff? I think he is. He was the Let's Player that got me into it. I told him that like 15, 16 years ago. Didn't DSP make a GoFundMe for a life-threatening emergency that was just a paper cut from a DoorDash bag? I haven't heard that one. It would not surprise me, though. DSP is probably just gonna go get off and play that WWE game with the money. Yeah, okay. That has happened several times now, where he promised people that he has stopped playing the WWE mobile card game. And then he gets a bunch of money in donations, and then he blows hundreds of dollars on the WWE mobile card game. And then he goes on air and says he needs money for rent. It's fucking nuts. Like, you have no shame. Oh my god. Oh my god, at least spend the money on something good. Like, are you kidding me? I promise you, none of them donated the money for you to spend it on the WWE mobile card game. That's fucked. Oh my god. You know what I've never done in my life? Spend money on a mobile, on like a mobile phone game. I've never done that before. And like, it's okay if you do, it's okay if that's your thing, but maybe don't like crowd raise money saying that it's for your rent, and then spend it on not even cards, virtual cards. Virtual cards. He lost all shame when he was accidentally streamed himself stroking it. Okay, but for real, the only thing, of all the unbelievably embarrassing things, I got poisoned. Of all the unbelievably embarrassing things that DSP has done over the years, of all the times where he could have just laughed at himself and said, my bad, and instead he doubles down and gets crazy defensive and like strikes out at everyone. The one time he ever didn't, the one drama he ever had that everybody who unanimously knows about it says, wow, he actually handled that really, really well, is when he accidentally jerked off on camera. Yeah, okay, if you know the camera's on, and it's like a guy with black hair and a goatee, that's DSP. He was on a pre-stream, he didn't know his webcam was still on, but his mic was muted, and you just see him leaning back a lot, and kind of shaking a bit, and throwing his head back, and then he goes on air, he's like, hey, what's up, everybody? And the whole chat's like, were you just jerking it? And he's like, oh, the camera's on? Whoops. And like, he like tried to say like, oh, I wasn't jerking it for like one day, and then the next day is like, nah, you're right, I was, you guys caught me. And he was a really good sport about it. That's like the most embarrassing thing ever. So many people would never, ever, ever recover from that. It is so unbelievably embarrassing. And somehow it's the one time ever that DSP is just like, oh, that was stupid, my bad, everybody. And it's like, holy shit, he weathered the storm just fine. How'd he do it? And like, he's got a decent sense of humor about it. Now, the craziest part is he does that, and then he never like gets up from the computer to like go get cleaned up or anything. He just does it. And then like minutes pass, he's still sitting there, and then he's on mic and he's doing his intro. So, I don't know what to make of that. So yeah, that's the story of DSP. Yeah. Just streaming in his own filth or something? I don't know. He just threw the sock on the ground? Yeah, maybe. Hit a sock under the... Oh, God, sock is so fucked up. Yeah, no, that's, maybe he's firing blanks, maybe. God damn. Well, I'm sorry I inflicted all that lore on you guys. Now you know who DSP, also known as Darkside Phil, if any of you know him as that. Now you guys know who DSP is and J Station. I'm sorry for inflicting them on you. I don't know if there's any other YouTuber that I have that level of vitriol for. I think those are probably the only ones. Now that said, I don't hate DSP. I think he's terrible. But if DSP hit me up and he wanted to talk, I'd talk to him. If J Station hit me up and wanted to talk, he'd get an earful, and then I wouldn't have a conversation with him. I might not even just respond. He'd get an earful if it's in person. If he walks up to me in person, he's like, I heard you were talking shit about me. Oh, that's a bad decision, because I'll just tell you directly why I think you're a piece of trash. Okay, no, the other streamer that I got some vitriol for, although I heard he's kind of redeemed himself a bit since then. I saw the fucking Wavy Web Surf interview with him years ago, but I really don't think it exonerates him. The guy who pretended that he... Okay, so he was in a wheelchair, and he was streaming. This was early Twitch days. I forget his name. He was in a wheelchair, and he was streaming, and people would donate to him a lot, and he called his fans his wheelies and stuff like that, right? Long hair guy, he's got a long beard and stuff. And he's streaming, he's a pretty big streamer. Took a lot of money in donations. Now, everybody thought he was paralyzed from the waist down. He was not paralyzed from the waist down. He was telling the truth when he said that he was in a really serious, I think it was a car accident, and that he is going through serious rehabilitation and that he can't walk. That was true. But everybody thought he was paralyzed. They would say every stream that he's paralyzed, and he would never correct them ever. And then there was one stream where he forgot to turn off his camera before he stood up on camera. He stood up out of his wheelchair. And his career never recovered, and he was banned shortly after. And his girlfriend, who was in the call with him at the time, tried to, like, cover it up and stuff. And it was weird. And then he went to Hitbox when... Zillian OP, thank you. That was the name. And he ended up going to Hitbox back when Hitbox was around. And he was a streamer on there. I remember when I became a partner on Hitbox, because it was a great service. It was actually a really good website. I asked a guy there who was partnering me, like, hey, why is Zillian OP here? And he said, well, okay, it's not part of our terms of service to enforce a different company's terms of service, and he's never broken a rule here. But yes, we're, like, aware of that community, and we keep an eye. So there was one day it must have been 2014 or 2015. This was when I was, okay, for anyone who doesn't know the deep lore on me, this was around when we were losing our house back in Hamilton. There was a huge divorce thing going on between my parents. A lot of money that we were supposed to be getting sent from my dad's side was not getting sent. A lot of things were being held up. And there was a court case ongoing. It took 5 fucking years, that court case. And we were basically being bled dry on money during that. We nearly had the house fully paid off that we would still have to this day. But we were forced out because Mum was too ill to work by then, and I wasn't able to find work beyond doing YouTube, which was not paying great at the time. So we couldn't keep up with it. When we were like a couple months from us losing the house, when we already knew, like, okay, there's no bailing it out this time, like, we already know where we're going to be moving, and it's just, every day all I'm doing is I'm working, and I'm helping my mom pack everything that we can. I'm doing a stream on Hitbox of, what's that zombie game? State of Decay. I was playing State of Decay on Hitbox. Someone came into my chat, and they said, like, hey, man, you look just like Zillian OP. And I said something offhand like, oh man, I hope not, I hate that guy. And then shortly after, 10, 15 minutes later, Zillian OP appears in my chat and he said, hey, I heard you were talking shit about me. I laid into him. I think I paused the recording. I know I paused the game. I just turned to the camera and I said, you motherfucker. I watched you take thousands and thousands of dollars for a disability that you didn't have because everybody believed that you were paralyzed when you weren't, and you wouldn't be honest with them. You took in thousands and thousands of dollars in donations when you don't really have what they all thought you had, what you said you have. And me, I am disabled. I have cerebral palsy and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which at the time was keeping me from getting a regular job because my body was in horrible shape at the time. And I'm losing my house. So yeah, I resent you. And his defense, I didn't lie to anybody. They sent that money. Fuck that guy. So you know what he does? He goes back to his 10 viewers over on his stream, and he brigades his chat and tells all of them to mass report me. I won't out the name of the moderator that, one of the people who worked at Twitch, or at, not Twitch, Hitbox. One of the high-up manager guys there that I knew. I let him know, I'm like, hey, I had this spat with Zillian OP today. Oh, sorry, I gotta refresh my chat. It just did the out-of-memory issue. Okay, I can see it again. Yeah, I let him know, I'm like, hey, I had this spat. It was on air. Here it is, if you want to go check it out. He's saying for everyone to go mass report me for harassing him. I just want to point out that someone said I look like Zillian OP. I said, I hope not. I hate that guy. And then he showed up to talk trash on my stream. I did not go to him. I did not harass him. And what I was told, and I will not out the person who said it to me because they probably weren't allowed to say that, they told me in a very diplomatic way, don't worry about it. We don't take harassment reports that come from Zillian's channel seriously. They didn't directly tell me that. They heavily implied that to me. Isn't that lying by omission? It absolutely fucking is. And he did like a big tour of trying to like... Because like several years ago, he came back to streaming and his new gimmick was he's blue. He's blue. And he started streaming again, and then people figured out that's Zillian. And so he did kind of a redemption thing on Webby Webster's thing, where he basically explained, he's like, hey, I'm from the era of the internet where you don't share anything about yourself. I already felt like I was sharing too much by talking about my car crash and everything. So like, I saw people thought that I was paralyzed, I just never corrected them. That is lying by omission. And that's the thing, is after he got banned and was already streaming on Hitbox is when he came to my stream and said, I didn't lie to anyone. I heard you were talking trash about me. And it's like, okay, so he didn't even learn his lesson by that point. So like his timeline he was saying on Webby Webster's video is not 100% honest. When the platform you're on calls you out like that, that's insane. I mean, the platform never publicly said anything about him. Twitch banned him when that happened on Twitch. On Hitbox never said anything publicly. But a admin at Hitbox privately told me, don't worry when he brigades someone with fake reports of harassment. Ignore it. And yeah, no, there was never any consequence, so I'm guessing that what he said was right. Hey, remember the Runaway guys? Yes. Proton John used to be a part of... Is Proton John not still in it? All three still do gaming on YouTube, it's just John went on his own way from Tim and Emil. Oh, I thought they all still do Runaway guys together. I know they all do their own thing, they always have. Yeah, those are some of the only Let's Players left from my era. Actually, okay, John's even older than that, because Proton John is from the Something Awful forums. He's a Gen 1 video player. I'm a Gen 2 guy, which is the people who came from the Something Awful crowd. Then the Generation 3 of Let's Players came in at, like, the PewDiePie Markiplier days. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure that the Runaway guys are still around. Tim and Emil are roommates. Oh, they've been roommates for like a decade, haven't they? What era do we call AVGN? Well, he's not part of the era of Let's Players. He wasn't a Let's Player. He was the original video game reviewer on YouTube. I'm talking about video Let's Players. Okay, so Let's Plays originally weren't videos. Let's Plays were originally forum posts and forum threads on the Something Awful forums, where you would you'd be playing a video game. You'd let people know where you are in the game and send screenshots and talk about it, and then people in the thread pick what you're going to do next, which is why it's Let's Play, because you're all playing together. And then the first ever video Let's Play was by Slowbeef, who still does YouTube videos to this day. I don't remember the name of the game. It was like a wizardry game on the Sega Genesis. I forget the name of it. But that was the first ever video Let's Play. He did live... Actually, I think his commentary on that might have been post-commentary, but it was still a Let's Play. And then that started to get trendy. And that's the first generation of video Let's Players ever. Came from Slowbeef, and he got the idea from the text Let's Plays that preceded him. So if you want to say who's the inventor of the video Let's Play, that's Slowbeef. If you guys know the ancient great YouTube channel Retsupre, that's Slowbeef and Diabetes. Yes, Slowbeef from Retsupre invented the video Let's Play. Yeah, AVGN was the original Extreme Overreaction reviewer. Yeah, but he had, like, real cinematic qualities. He was, like, a film school student. So, like, his reviews were, like, short films. If any of you know, that guy with the glasses, Doug Walker, he was inspired by Angry Video Game Nerd. And they don't have the same style, but it's a very similar concept. AVGN very much, that guy with the glasses, Doug Walker, very much did his own thing with it. Nostalgia critic. He very much, like, took it in his own creative direction. He took a good idea and built off it, you know? How can I convey all this to my friend who's dead set on believing Chris Chan was the first Let's Player? Okay, Chris Chan's not even a Let's Player. That's crazy. No, a lot of people think like PewDiePie was the first Let's Player. No, I predate PewDiePie. PewDiePie is a Gen 3 Let's Player. He's like the start of Gen 3's Let's Plays. Which is like PewDiePie, Markiplier. And then that's when Let's Play got really, really big outside of the niche, was PewDiePie, Markiplier. Doing the screaming horror Let's Plays. And eventually became not quite that. You know, the early PewDiePie Let's Plays was just screaming funny Swedish man. But even he says in interviews, he's like, that's just what I thought people wanted to see at the time. And I was really unsure of my own creative direction and everything. That's why like his show over time actually got way better as he figured out his own style. Yeah, Game Grumps was their own different wave. Game Grumps was like tier 4. When Game Grumps hit the scene, it was like a cosmic shift in Let's Plays. I had already been Let's Playing for like 3 years at that point, and I knew a lot of the like long-time Let's Players. And let me tell you, when Game Grumps first launched, first of all, every Let's Player watched them. Because they were really funny. Original Game Grumps was really funny. I actually think Game Grumps was still really funny for a lot of years. And every once in a while, I'll tune back in and watch a bit, and they are still pretty funny. I don't think it's as funny as it used to be. But like they definitely still have moments, and there's still like a huge back catalog of really good shit, especially the John era. But I also watched like years of the Dan era. Danny's great, and I also thought Robert Ross was really good. Anyway, oh, I should probably stop grinding him up. Let's get Exadream up more. Right, so every Let's Player watched Game Grumps, and they were split completely down the middle. Half of them just loved the show, because it was really, really fun. Half of them were intensely jealous. Like, intensely fucking... Peanut Butter Gamer is not a Let's Player. Intensely fucking jealous. I'm talking about Let's Players. Okay, video game reviewers are their own thing. Anyway, half the Let's Players were intensely fucking jealous because they saw it as two outsiders coming in, and immediately, week one, they're some of the biggest Let's Players on the entire planet. Like, it's not even close. They were killing it immediately. And some people are like, oh, they don't deserve it, they didn't earn it, whatever. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, Ego Raptor, Aaron Hansen, had been an online celebrity for like a decade at that point. And JonTron was already really popular for like 3 or 4 years at that point. Yeah, they're new to Let's Plays, but one, they're very fucking funny together. And two, it felt different, it felt unique, it was fun. They're two guys who very much had already paid their dues and learned, like, how to do this whole internet shit. What is there to bitch about? It was really good. So yeah, no, there was a lot of unbelievable amounts of jealousy in those days of early Let's Play, or early Game Grumps Let's Play. Oh, and another thing that people were really jealous about was the amount of fan art and fan animations they got. In those early months, people did it for years, but especially in those early months, people were making whole animations and songs out of funny Game Grumps quotes. And that became like every Let's Player's dream, is to get animations made after their funny moments. I've had that happen a tiny bit. I had a lot of fan art over funny moments in my Let's Plays, and that is like possibly the coolest thing I have ever had happen in my entire job. Like, even cooler than blowing up is just that people have made fan art of moments from my Let's Plays that they think are really funny. And it's like, okay, that's how you know that there is an artistic value to this, because art spawns art. And something I have done was so entertaining that someone decided they want to bring that art to life by creating their own depiction of it. That is so fucking cool. Small donation to the Mah-Dry-Brethren cult. Thank you, Shadows. I appreciate that. Thank you for the €2. The fact that it's always been two of them allows for better banter, makes animating a lot easier, I think. Yeah, I do think that helps, yeah. How many generations would there be? I don't know now. It's hard to say. I'd need to really think about that. I can think of 4. But there's way more than 4 for Let's Play. I probably still have a few of those really funny old Game Grumps songs on my hard drive. Like, okay, Goof Troop Boop. That's the first one everyone thinks of from the old days. That was like first month of Game Grump, the Goof Troop Boop got made, and that song was great. I'm also a big fan of Emotional Claws. Oh, John Wins. John Wins was a great song. I think that's what it was called. Wasn't Matt Pat a Let's Player at one point? No, but he was a streamer. He was a streamer, but that wasn't until like well after he had done many years of game theory. And he was a very good streamer, by the way. They had a lot of technical problems in the early days because they insisted on using a TriCaster for some reason, even though I could do better shit than what they were doing just with software. I don't know why they were so intent on that. Maybe they thought the TriCaster would like give them better production value. It didn't. You can do that shit on software just fine. But anyway, no, Matt, Pat, and Steph became really good streamers. I think they did a lot of really, really good stuff. I don't think they get enough credit for that. It definitely took them a little while to like find their groove, but like that's everybody who's getting used to live streaming. They were great. They were really, really good. I don't think that they get credit for it as much as they should. And I've been streaming since the dawn of man. I was streaming since before Twitch TV existed. That's why I have Stomp That Baby art on as my PC background. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Any new casualties? No, this stream has literally just been grinding, and it will probably only be grinding. So if you don't want to see the grinding, let me know in the comments. Have you listened to any of the Dan and Aaron Music, the Starbomb albums? Yeah, I've listened to some of it, yeah. Some of it's pretty good. I've listened to a lot of Danny's music in general. Old MatPat streams are still popular even after his retirement? Yeah. I'm sure people go back and watch that backlog. It's not unlike how I go back all the time and I rewatch the backlog of Video Games Awesome. That's, the YouTube channel is called Far From Subtle, but the show is called Video Games Awesome. If you go look it up, they invented that sitting on the couch on a green screen format that a lot of channels have done since then. It was all invented by Fraser Agar back in 2010. Or 2009, maybe. It was later stolen by Iron Man Gaming, which it's spread it out to a lot of other places. If you ever wonder why Twitch Turbo is called Twitch Turbo, they got that from the Turbo Club, which is what Video Games Awesome called their paid fan base, which I was a member of. Yeah, so much of YouTube now and Twitch now has no idea how influential Video Games Awesome was. But you can go back and watch those videos, like those playlists from a decade ago. They're still up on YouTube and they're fucking funny. They have aged so well. They have such a good dynamic because all the people on the show have been friends for like, since they were little kids. Everything going all right? Yeah. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're just grinding. Grinding and grinding and grinding. Have you heard of... I don't even know how to pronounce that. Loved his content so much when I was younger. I feel like I've seen the name before. I don't know. Fraser's career is so weird. Yeah. No, he did a lot of things. He was very influential in a lot of ways, and he's one of those names I don't think modern YouTubers know. He's like mostly retired right now. He moved to Japan several years ago with his wife, and they still streamed a little bit, but not that much. But then they had a kid, and he's barely streamed since having a kid. Although he's been talking in the last year about how he wants to come back to doing it soon now that his kid's a little bit older. I don't know if it won't have the same feel as like classic VGA, because classic VGA has the whole friend group there. And he doesn't live in Canada anymore, so most of the friend group isn't going to be there live on the couch with him, you know? And that was a big unique thing, is they're all in the studio together on the couch. If any of you know my friend Dev, Short Fat Otaku, if you've ever seen SFO Arcade, his side show where it's him and his friends doing Let's Plays in a streaming format, they got that from Video Games Awesome. It's the same format. They're on the couch, they're in the corner, they're doing that whole thing, and he does it really well. He's got a very different feel because it's a different friend group. So, you know, the format may be the same, but the feel of the show is very different because it's a different friend group with a different sense of humor. But I think that they do a really, really good job. Not just production value. I mean, the show is, in general, is really fun. There's a lot of decade-old Let's Plays that I've been watching on that literally, like, tens of people have watched. A lot of these videos I'm watching have less than 100 views, and it's really fun. A lot of it is a time capsule of that era of YouTube, but, like, I'm fine with that. I like that era of YouTube. Are you gonna go to the Sevi Islands for more encounters and XP? I probably should. What's the team looking like? I'll show you as soon as the fight's over. Do you ever EV train your Nuzlocke team? Nope. This is the only Nuzlocke I've done. Well, okay, like there was like a Nuzlocke I played a bit with some friends that was highly randomized a decade ago when it's not even online. But like that doesn't count. And I didn't EV train. What's your level goal? Like 40, I guess? I've been around since you were in PTCP. I just never chatted. Oh, okay. Were you ever a fan of Rooster Teeth? No, not really, but I know of them. You ever played Pokemon Item Randomizer? I'm guessing that just randomizes items? No, I haven't specifically done just that. It's pronounced Leroy. Huh. Think he was the introduction to Pokemon for kids on YouTube back then. See, the introduction to Pokemon for kids when I was a kid was the Game Boy. You just You just got the game. Oh, I remember like a friend in high school showed me Red versus Blue and he thought it was really funny. I thought it was okay. That was a good coffee. Never gotten to Red versus Blue, but RWBY was hype as fuck. Okay, I've seen that that acronym before, but I don't really know what it is. I'm guessing it's another Halo machinima. Do people even still use the term machinima to refer to like making a short film or a sketch show in a video game? Oh right, I ran out of surfs. Oh, it's pronounced like Ruby, and it's like an anime. When you say like an anime, though, is it a machinima? Because machinimas are kind of like an anime. Yeah, it's just a TV show. It's a sketch show. It's an episodic show done entirely through the in-game camera. No, it's an anime, but like super low budget. Actually animated. Oh, okay. I thought it might have been a machinima because we were talking about machinimas. I like talking about old YouTube. It can be pretty fun. It's important that someone keeps the memory alive for the younger generations of YouTubers. You know, back when I started, this wasn't a dream job yet. Now it's like the most popular dream job of kids is being a YouTuber. So I think it's really important. As someone who was, you know, when YouTube first started, I already had full internet access. I was old enough that I navigated the site. I've been there since day one. And me, myself, as a YouTuber, I've been doing it for most of the lifespan of the website now. I think it's really important that people from my generation let people know who came in later, the people who came before you. Because there's a lot of stuff you can go back and watch and learn a lot from. A lot of that old shit has aged very well. And even the stuff that hasn't, you can learn from it. You remember Minecraft machinimas? Yeah, that was big. That was big. Keep Shadow alive as well. Huh. I wonder if you have a personal stake in that. Remember being a preteen in 2005 finding YouTube for the first time? Yeah, me too. I think I found YouTube because everyone at school was talking about it. And it was 2005, yeah. So the website was probably only like a month or two old. I remember it got big fast. It didn't take long at all before it just dwarfed Google Video. It's funny because I remember people used to... I hear people nowadays, I guess they just don't know the history of the website, that always talk about like, oh, YouTube was really great until Google bought it. What the fuck are you talking about? Google bought YouTube when it was like 1 year old. Like, none of you were on YouTube before Google bought it. The glory days you're thinking of, Google already owned it. Oh yeah, he's getting 200,000 to 1.6 million views on his playthroughs, and it's just like a camcorder pointed at a screen. Yeah, that was the era of Let's Plays when not many people owned a capture card, and capture cards are very hard to get working. So most people just they'd just get a camcorder, and they'd put it up on a bunch of books, like a stack of books, to use like a tripod, and point it at their TV. And it usually looked like ass, but not always. Back in those days, if you had a capture card, you probably had a Dazzle, which was a real piece of trash, but it worked. Some people, like speedrunners from before the days of YouTube, isn't Machinima as a company dead? I think so, yeah. But remember camcorders, full stop? Yeah, I guess those aren't really a thing anymore, are they? I used those to make films in high school. Had a Comtech class for that. That was fun. That's how I learned how to edit video. I've been editing video since I was 14 years old. I am now 33. I've been editing video on a regular basis for 19 years. First Let's Play content I watched was Hayden's Wi-Fi battles in black and white in like 2011, 2012. My first Let's Play I watched, it was something on Deceased Crab's channel. I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was La Mulana, even though that's what a lot of people know him for. I don't think it was La Mulana, although I did watch that Let's Play. I went back and watched like all of them, I think. But my first Let's Play was definitely a Deceased Crab Let's Play from like 2007, maybe? Probably like 2007. That's what I'm gonna guess. You had a Dazzle, but because it recorded in 60 or 30, it was always desynced from PAL's 50. Really killed my drive to record since I had to fix the video every minute of recording. That is brutal. Yeah, I don't think there was a PAL format for the Dazzle. I don't think like there was an equivalent. God, the Dazzle was such a piece of trash. Man, I remember trying like every piece of recording software back in the day for recording emulator games. All of them were trash in their own way. Like I used Fraps back in the days when Fraps would auto-split the video every 4 minutes. That was brutal. That made it hard to compile. I used Morillus Action, which most of you probably don't... most of you have probably never heard of Morillus Action in your life. I used DxTory. I used, like, everything. I had to learn how different wrappers and codexes work so I could reformat things all the time. And then eventually, and XSplit, I learned XSplit back when that was the thing for streaming. I have a paid version of XSplit, piece of trash software. And then eventually OBS came out. And originally OBS wasn't OBS Studio. It was a less good version, but it was still really good. And then eventually OBS Studio came out, which is now just called OBS. And let me tell you, OBS Studio is the best streaming and Let's Play recording software that has ever existed, pretty much since its launch, and it's free, and it can run on the shittest of computers. There is never a reason now to use anything but OBS. It's not complete market dominance, because it doesn't have complete market dominance, because like some people use Streamlabs version of OBS, which I don't recommend, but it's not horrible. But outside of that, like everybody just uses OBS. You don't need to fuck around with Fraps and Morillus Action and DxTory and all of that trash nowadays. And XSplit, just use OBS. It does whatever you need it to do. It's fantastic. It's not even hard to learn. It's open source. It's highly moddable. You can find a million plugins to do any little thing that you could ever want. You can do live audio plugins with it, so you can have a limiter and a compressor, a white noise remover. Like, it's so good. It's so good. And it even now has a capture format where you don't need to do MP4, the baseline MP4, which breaks if you crash, or MKV, which has to be remuxed into MP4, but doesn't run very well in editors. Like, it runs, but it's a little stuttery. You don't need to worry about any of that shit anymore, because now they do, I think it's called partial MP4, and it runs smooth as butter, and if your computer crashes or your software crashes during the recording, you still get your footage. You only lose the last couple seconds. Oh. The video was 5% slower than the audio, so you had to resync every minute. Okay, I had that exact problem in many Let's Plays. I don't know why. It was usually different things that caused it. It was pretty random. All right. I know it hasn't been a super long stream. It's been 1 hour of grinding, an hour and a half of streaming, but I actually am very limited on time today. I have a lot to get done. And there's also WrestleMania tonight. I think the pre-show just started, but I'm not watching the pre-show. I need to get running, literally, because I need to hit my step count today, and then I have a show to watch later, and I need to cook a whole bunch of meals tonight, and do some meal prep, and do some editing, and about 1,000 other things. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll be streaming again on probably Monday or Tuesday, Probably just with more Nuzlocke or probably something Pokemon related. Either this or like Pokerogue, that's always a fun one. Yeah, something like that. Maybe Super Mario Mon was fun, or Fire Red Rocket Edition. That was also fun. We'll do something Pokemon related. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.